Hello everyone, welcome back. So I'm back to do an easy soft glam go-to makeup tutorial for you guys. First I'm gonna do the brows. So I'm gonna go from start to finish. So first I'm doing the brows with my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow wiz. I'm using the shade Ebony. Like I always say, like everything is down below. If you guys have any questions like on the products, everything is mentioned down below in the description box if you guys are wondering. So yeah, I'm just filling in my brows, and then here I'm just kind of like making it smooth with a spoolie just so there's no harsh lines. And then after, I'm gonna go and clean it up with some concealer. I use my Fit Me by Maybelline in the shade, I think it's 50 now. They changed number, I don't know why, but whatever. Probably because there's more shade now, but whatever. Here I'm just blending and make sure everything is clean, and I'm gonna set my brows right away. I'm using my NYX Brow Glue. This is like the original one. There's no color, it's just like the clear one. I just passed through my brows. I actually really like this product. It's really good. So next we're gonna start the makeup tutorial, the eyeshadow look. And first I'm gonna prime my eyes with some concealer. I'm using the Too Faced multi-use sculpting concealer in the shade Butterscotch, just so we have like a clean canvas. You guys know I have like eczema, so I need like something that's clean, something like the eyeshadow is gonna stick to, so that's what I use. And here I have to set my eyelids because they do get oily. Even if I have eczema, it's a bit dry, they still get oily and creasy. So just to set everything, I'm using some translucent powder. I really want a clean look for this makeup tutorial, so I'm gonna use some tape just so everything looks clean and sharp. Yeah, just make sure they're equal on both sides. And here for the eyeshadow look, I thought I would use my Gone Matte palette, and the first shade I'm gonna use the shade Blanky. You guys know I love that shade to just put all over my crease, just like a starter to just make sure everything will blend, everything else after will blend really seamlessly. I just use like a really big blending brush and put it all over my crease, and yeah, just make sure it's well blended. The next shade I'm using is Powder Puff. So we're gonna deepen the crease. Basically, I used a smaller blending brush just so it really goes deep into my crease. And yeah, just make sure you like apply the eyeshadow first and then blend it. Just make sure it's like well blended. You can always go back and forth between the two shades just so everything was well blended and everything seamless. Like I said, here I'm just placing like the product, and then after I'm blending, and then after I use my bigger blending brush to make sure all the shades are well blended together and both eyes are equal. So the shade after I'm going to use is the shade Chase Me. It's like chaise, but like I don't know, like chair, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm just putting it all over my eyelids as a first shade. Make sure it's blended with the deeper brown in the outer corner. I'm just using a smudge brush because I find they pack on the color the best. And then after, for the inner corner, I'm going to use the shade Butter Up. I'm actually using the same brush, I just turn it around, but like the same kind of brush will be fine. And yeah, I just put it like in my inner corner, the like first third, just to open up the eye and like kind of have like a highlighted kind of effect, so it goes to light to a bit darker, and just make sure all the shades in between all blended also. So to deepen the eyeshadow look, I thought I would use some black. I'm using the shade Roll Around. It's basically the black shadow from the palette. I'm just doing like a wing liner with the shadow. Also, I go along the tape, so make sure it will be like really crisp and really like a nice eyeliner. And I go basically like you're doing an eyeliner with the liquid one, but just with eyeshadow. So I use an angled brush, and here I'm just using like a pencil brush just to smudge it a little bit so it doesn't look like it just step on there, so it kind of blends with the eyeshadows, and like it will give you a look that's more smoky than just like a eyeliner, you know. So it just blends all the way together. So here I'm just taking off the tape, and after that I'm just gonna put some mascara. I use it for my top and bottom lashes, just so you guys know, because I think I didn't film the bottom lashes, but whatever. So just do a nice coat of the top lashes with my Sky High mascara from Maybelline. So now basically the eyes are done, so I'm gonna move on to the face, the foundation routine. So first I'm gonna prime my face with some Milk Hydro Grip, and I'm just putting it mostly on my T-zone. This is where like I have mostly the problematic skin. Sorry, I can't talk today. And then after I'm going to conceal some of my spot. I have to say, like, this is not the best concealer to conceal some spots, but it's this shade that's like closer to my actual skin tone, so that's why I use it. And then after, I'm just gonna set my face a little bit, even though my skin is a bit dry because the winter is here and I have some dry patches from eczema. I still need it because I still get pretty oily. Yeah, so after this, I'm just going to use my Ease Drop by Fenty Beauty, the Skin Tint. I'm in the shade 18 pretty much. I'm pretty sure I can go lighter, but I like the shade. Like, I don't know, it just brings some warmth into my skin. Yeah, so I'm just gonna blend everything, make sure I don't move around too much the concealer that we have underneath, so like my dark spot don't show too much. And yeah, just make sure you blend everything really well. I should probably change foundations, but like, I'm sorry, this is just like my go-to, the best ever. Like, every time I switch, I'm like, why did I switch? And I go back to this one. Anyways, just make sure everything is well blended. And after, we're going to conceal. So I'm just using the same one I used before, which is the Too Faced multi-use concealer, sculpting concealer. So I'm using it under my eyes, my nose, my forehead, around my nose, and yeah, around my mouth also, because I have a bit of darkness, so I just want to conceal that a little bit. Yeah, just make sure it's well blended. This is like a Real Techniques concealer blending brush, something like that. I really like it, it's nice, but somehow I want to switch to like sponges, but I don't know, for now it's okay, I guess. Yeah, so just make sure everything is well blended, especially under the eyes. Yeah, because this will make it or break your makeup, I find. So just make sure you blend really well your concealer under your eyes. Just blend. And also just do tapping motion. It will keep most of the coverage if you do it like this. Next, I just go back with my foundation brush and just make sure that like the concealer doesn't have any harsh lines, so everything blends between my concealer and my foundation. That's a little trick for you guys. So after that, I'm just gonna bronze my face. I'm using my Bobbi Brown bronzer in the shade Deep. I kind of like went back to this one. I forgot how dark it is compared to the Fenty Beauty. Like, I really like it, to be honest. It's just I forgot the first time I used it, I used a little bit too much, but it's so rich and it's so like dark, and it's just like so perfect and blends so well. It's a bit expensive, but like worth the price in my opinion, especially for us darker skin. Like, it's so hard to find bronzers sometimes. This is really worth it. So next, I'm going to set my concealer, set my face. Basically, I'm using like one of those like you can just throw like those sponges, whatever, like not really reusable, like you can just like throw them away. Yeah, so I'm using this with my Can't Stop Won't Stop by NYX in the shade Banana, just to make sure that everything is set. I have to say, like, with a sponge, it's like so much better when I set with a sponge. Like, my makeup will last longer when I do it that way compared to when I use a little brush, but it's just a different look, and I like it that way or the other way. It's fine. After this, I'm just gonna take off my bake. I did wait a bit in between the two, so here I'm just taking my pressed powder by Sephora, and I'm using a big powder brush just to remove the powder on my face, really lightly. I still want everything to look good together, and sometimes also I go with a small brush under my eyes because the brush is too big to take off all the excess powder, and I go over my bronzer also, just so everything like blends together, so there's no like harsh lines. Everything just seems well blended. For blush, I'm using my MAC Cosmetic blush in the shade Sunbask. I had this blush for like so long. This is my first blush I ever bought, and I just love it. And it has a bit of a sheen, if you guys are wondering. And then after, I'm just gonna highlight my face with some Master Chrome in Molten Gold. For my lips, I'm using I'm pretty sure it's BFF4 by Colourpop to line my lips. You can always take your time. And after this, I'm using my Maybelline Vinyl Ink like lipstick, whatever it's called, I'm not sure, in the shade Captivated, liquid lipstick, I guess, in the shade Captivated. I really love this shade. It's so pretty, such a perfect nude. Yeah, just putting all over. and make sure everything is well blended with my lip liner also. That's why I go back with the lip liner after, just make sure everything is well blended. And after, I'm going to use a bit of gloss, the NYX Butter Gloss in Butterscotch, sorry, just on top, just make it a bit more glossy. And basically you're done. If you want to darken the look a little bit, you can always add some eyeshadow on your lower lash line, but other than that, you're done, and this is it. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.